Nothing says Thanksgiving like stuffing, or more accurately, nothing smells quite like Thanksgiving more than stuffing. So we're gonna make a stuffing today using all kinds of leftover ingredients from our Shabbat dinner the other day. And you could make this vegan or vegetarian if you want to. I'm not gonna actually stuff it inside of the turkey, so just follow along. And we're gonna get started with, because we're making this kosher, we're not gonna use butter because we don't mix milk and meat together. So we're gonna use some margarine. We're gonna actually use 2 sticks. I know that sounds gross. We're gonna put that in our pot behind us. So we're gonna just open these up into the pot. We're gonna put that on medium to high heat. We're just gonna wait for that to melt down. Once it melts, we're gonna start with some fresh herbs. In this case, I'm gonna use rosemary, sage, and thyme. We're gonna just open this packet up. And once the margarine is melted, we're gonna put that right into the pot. And again, stir until it starts to bubble. As it starts to bubble, we're gonna lower our heat. And just leave that to do its thing. In the meantime, we're gonna start cutting up some of our vegetables. So we're gonna start with an onion. And we're gonna just dice that. And some celery and carrots that we're gonna slice very thinly, as thinly as we can. If you already have your bread cubed, you can just leave it where it is. But if you haven't yet, let's slice our bread into small cubes, and then we're gonna stick that into the oven at about 200 degrees. Now, I left my bread out to get stale naturally, but if you didn't, you can dry that out in the oven. At this point, our herb margarine should be ready. So we're gonna take a double strainer because we don't want any bugs that were in the herbs. We also don't want the herbs themselves. We just want the flavor and the smell, the aroma of the herbs in our stuffing. So we're gonna take that, we're gonna pour part of it into a frying pan, and we're gonna keep the rest of it in there, which we're gonna put directly into our baking dish in just a minute. So we just get the margarine out. And then we're going to start with our onions first. So first we're going to take the onions. We're going to wait for the onions to get a little bit translucent. And we're going to add some garlic salt, some fresh garlic, pepper, some kosher salt, stirring constantly so that they don't burn. And then once they get a little bit soft, we're then going to add our celery and our carrots. We're gonna let that saute and get nice and brown. That's gonna take a while, so while we're waiting, we're gonna preheat our oven to 350. Let that go, and while that's happening, we can start our mixture. We're gonna use some chicken stock. In my case, I'm using leftover chicken soup, and we're gonna take 2 eggs. We're gonna crack those eggs, just beat them up a little bit, and set that aside. Eventually, when we're ready, we're gonna mix the egg mixture and the soup together, and then pour that over our bread. Once our veggies are nice and soft and brown, we're going to combine everything together. So I'm gonna just stick everything inside of a big metal bowl. I'm gonna start with the bread. Pour that into the bowl. I'm gonna put a little bit of my chicken stock. I'm gonna take my veggies. They're a little bit hot, so be careful. Pour that in and over. Now, like I said, we're gonna add our chicken stock to the cup of eggs. Just mix all that together and then pour that over the bread mixture. And now the rest of the soup mix. I'm gonna add more of all the spices we put in before. So we're gonna add some black pepper, some garlic salt. I'm adding my Trader Joe's everything but the leftovers. You can also add dry sage, rosemary, and thyme. And we're gonna just mix all that together. Use your hands, use a spoon, doesn't matter. Now let's take our baking dish. So we're gonna take our baking dish and we are going to pour the margarine into the baking dish just to line it. Again, we're gonna use that same double strainer. We're gonna pour it over and then coat the entire baking dish, and whatever's left, we're gonna pour into our bread. Okay, now we're ready to take our entire bread mixture. We're gonna pour it into the casserole dish. We're gonna cover it with foil and stick it into our oven at 350 degrees, covered for about 40 minutes. And then we're gonna leave it in there for an additional 20 minutes at the end without the foil. Let's see how it came out. Look at that. And there you have it, delicious stuffing for Thanksgiving. Don't forget to subscribe so you get all of our videos, and can't wait to see how yours comes out.